Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Right, perfect. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Moni. Welcome back to the Fake Ass Book Club.
And this is Kat, faking it
What
up.
up, Kat?
Man, trying to get my background right.
I'm trying to get my life right. And like now I'm how your voice was last week.
Yeah,
A little
man.
scratchy in this thing.
And they tell it's cuffing season and coughing season.
Oh God. Cuffing season? That seems
Cough
stressful.
it, baby.
Ooh, cuff it. Ooh, I'm glad you said
I
that. Listen, you're
know.
about
I
to get
need
me on a
to.
whole tangent and we ain't even got into the episode.
You're so
But
good at that.
I've
That's what we
got
do best.
I have a couple little fun little cuff it challenges that I did at my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yay. And I still haven't
And
learned it yet, but it's in
it's
my
easy. You
heart.
got this. So
Um,
you guys let me know if you guys want to see Kat doing the cuff it challenge with me. There's just one with me, like in my work uniform, looking crazy doing it.
You're
But
but like you're
I
the
think you
singer,
showed
you're the
me.
dancer,
First
and
of
I'm
all,
more like in the engineering booth, like lighting and
whatever.
editing.
Fine. Well, guess what? We're gonna do it and we're gonna put it out there. And maybe the blooper ones that don't make it to social media, I will upload to our Patreon. You guys be looking out for our Patreon
Ooh,
dropping, you
actually,
guys.
yes, I promise
October
to do it for
30th.
Patreon when it's like not cool anymore.
It'll be great. I know, right? Like when no one cares. So anyway, welcome back, you guys. That was kind of like all over the place, but we're excited, like we always are, you guys. You know how we get. We're here. I look forward to recording with you every week, because
Me too.
this is like my wind down time.
Mhm.
And I get to just sit and talk about stuff that I want to talk about. So this is super dope. And this week we are finally talking about okay.
Finally, we
Yeah,
keep putting it off. We're sorry.
trash.
It's a fake ass book club. What do you want from us?
What you really want from a you already know
I'm sorry for
what.
yelling.
It's okay.
Sorry for yelling.
It's passion. It's
Um,
passion, friend. So we're gonna be finally reviewing Aftermath by one of our faves, Lavar Burton. So the
I
day
love
has
him so
finally
much.
come. I honestly feel like now we're pumping this book up. I mean, this book came out in 1997, so this is not like this isn't a new book or anything, but
But
it
he
was new to
just
me.
recently recorded the
Oh
audiobook.
my gosh.
So that was new.
So excited.
So that's what we're really reviewing because neither one of us have time to like sit still and silently read.
Man, that sounds relaxing. Hell no, I don't get to do that. Definitely not. So, you guys, I want to give you a little synopsis of this book. So, it says the United States of 2019 is a very different place. Economic depression, an enormous earthquake, and the assassination of a Black president elect have turned the country into a war zone. Four people, each as different and as troubled as the next, are the nation's last hope. But can they overcome the devastation and build a new world?
Dun dun
I'm stressed
dun.
out. I don't know. I mean,
I
can
don't
they? Will
either.
they?
Will they?
So, I mean, you got to stay tuned to figure it out. So, I mean, basically, that's what we're here for. Before we get into this thing, you guys, let's put our hands over our hearts like we always do, and let's dedicate this episode like we always do. I want to thank you guys for joining us again. Thanks to our listeners, supporters. I also want to thank our soon-to-be patrons on our Patreon platform. We are super excited to drop this, you guys. Bonus episodes, maybe some behind-the-scenes footage. We're also really excited to hear from you guys. We want to be able to cater this and sort of form it to what you're looking for. So if there's something you want to see us do, or there's things you guys want us to talk about, if you want to vote on our next book topic, if you want us to live stream an episode, if you are interested in monthly meetings, we can do a book club, like a live thing. Holla, holla, holla.
And Kat's
Holla.
willing to show feet.
She is. She keeps talking about this bottom half. I don't know if y'all are interested in that. Like I told you, I ain't got no problem. I ain't promising y'all nothing. It might get worse than this. This is y'all got lipstick and bronzer. Okay, so that's about all I can
I'll wear a
serve.
waist trainer. I'll do whatever it takes.
I'm not making no promises. But I will be there. I can promise you that, and it'll be a good time. So definitely sign up for that. Be looking for that. And then I just want to dedicate this episode to Black hair in all of its beauty and diversity, and just like leaning into the self-love and the care that it takes for the hair. So, what about you, friend?
Yes, and your dedications. I'm gonna kind of piggyback off the black hair dedication and dedicate this to my mom, who did my black ass hair for all those years. Me just sitting there complaining, not considering her time. My mom was a bad bitch. She had options. And she chose to pour into me, and I still reaping the benefits of that. Didn't appreciate it at the time. Not saying that that's happening now with me and my daughter, and now I'm seeing it through different eyes, and maybe seeing how I was being a little bit selfish and unreasonable. So thanks, Mom, for not abandoning me. That was always an option. For hanging in there. You know, it was funny too, because I always had a deep-seated fear that she was gonna just leave. Like, I kind of just thought, me and my aunt have talked about this before, because she kind of always felt that way too about her mom, but she kind of was gonna just blame it on my dad because he was so bad. And she was like, one day she's just gonna leave us. He's terrible, and this is too stressful, and she's just gonna realize she could just have a better life somewhere else
without all of us.
Yeah, like I can even with as selfish as I am, I can see that from here. Like
Wow.
this woman could do so much better.
Wow.
And
That takes
and
a
is
lot.
obviously choosing this every day. So I guess thanks for choosing me, Mom.
Wow.
You obviously didn't have to. It can't be said enough. Dedication over.
I mean, yo, that might have been the realest dedication of life right now. Like, shout out to all the moms out there, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
you, friend, for, you know, I mean, because here's the thing. I mean, I don't even listen. That's a whole nother conversation. We'll save it for the Patreon, guys. Sign up
Whoa.
October 30th for those fun conversations on the side. In the meantime, let's stay focused on what we're here for. We announced our fabulous read this week, Lavar Burton's Aftermath, which we have put off and put off and put off again. But you know, building suspense is part of storytelling. So you're
Yes,
welcome.
and it was suspenseful.
Twice.
So that's apropos.
It is.
And also, I may or may not have just finished it a couple minutes before coming into the podcast. So,
Yo, since we're spilling our guts here,
please.
I got a secret for you.
What is?
I didn't finish.
Oh! And you know what's so funny? I thought about just not finishing. I'm
glad you did, though. I'm glad you did, because I have 2 hours and 30 minutes left. I made it to chapter 19. I was so close. I tried my best today. I promise you.
Did you didn't speed it up?
I did. I had it on 1.8 right here. I probably should have had it on 3.
Thing straight up to 2.0.
I probably needed to. I was trying not to be like,
because I was like, and it kind of worked out too, because I was like, I just need to know what happens anyway, because it was like, you know, it was suspenseful. I'm like, come on.
What's happening here?
So yeah.
Oh my God, friend.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, I'm glad one of us isn't fake. I actually am the fake one this time, which is not a surprise, I don't think, to anyone. Let's be for real.
I actually have to say I'm a little surprised. Like, we had 3 chances. We've announced this 3 times. Like, we've had quite a bit.
No, let me tell you. Here's my excuse. You guys ready for it?
Let's hear it.
So I had it through the Libby app, and I started it, and then I had to turn it back. It turned itself back in, and then it was like somebody else had it and I couldn't get it back. So, excuse me, I ended up having to buy it because I was waiting. I kept waiting. I'm like, oh, it says I'm next in line. Like, this should be like any moment. And so then it was like, you have to just go ahead and buy the book now, because
damn.
So, and then I forgot where I was.
Because you're putting money in his pocket.
Listen, I'm happy to support Lavar. It's all good. Yeah. I mean, just from a time aspect. So then I ended up having to re-listen to part of it, because I was like, I wasn't sure where I left off, and then life kept lifing, and it was just dumb. So I'm impressed with myself. I don't know about anybody else, but I said, you know what? Good for you. You got mostly done.
I'm impressed when we do anything, quite honestly. I'm impressed we're even here right now. It's like kind of late on a Sunday, and it's been life has been lifing kind of hard lately, and it hasn't really let up.
Nope.
And I'm proud of you as well. So,
Thank
and
you.
this will be a good exercise, and I can explain the ending and for everyone.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
Oh yeah,
I
because we're
like when
spoiling.
you're
Like,
telling. We're
please,
spoiling
everybody
anyway.
should know we spoil everything we review. We do not do spoiler-free reviews. Don't come here
No.
unless you're okay with spoilers, fat asses, and margaritas.
Whoa! All the things we love.
Because we're
Wow.
bringing all that.
I mean, we're grown. That's what we do. So, you guys, I think that we need to talk about the author really quickly here and the book a little bit. So, I mean, like, if you don't know who LeVar Burton is, I'm just scared because I don't know how you made it. I don't know how you made it this far. But the
Well, they
book
might be a
is.
foreigner.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there are
Oh,
people
no
who are
disrespect to
foreigners.
you guys. Disrespect to
Yeah,
the ones who don't know him, who should though. You know what I mean? Like
like if you're
clearly,
from here, come on now.
like what you been doing with your life.
Yeah.
But the actual book, if you read the book, it says 274 pages. I know you don't care about that, Cat. Um, and as I mentioned before, this was published January the 1st, you guys, 1997. So this is right up in the era of our lives in the 1900s. So this is not a current book or anything. But as Kat mentioned before, it just got it. Oh my gosh, I said just got narrated. That sounds ghetto. I think. Does it? I don't know. You know what I'm saying.
It was
Um,
recently narrated by the author, LeVar Burton, and
ding.
I think he should get an Emmy or
He did great.
Grammy. He should get a Grammy. He
He
should
did
also get
amazing.
an Emmy. He be on TV. He's been on TV. Does he have any Emmys?
Listen, yes, he does.
Okay,
So
good.
here's about, and I'm actually okay. Listen, I don't know if I should do the long one now because you're saying this, but here's what I had about LeVar
Okay.
Burton. So LeVar Burton Jr., who's actually Lavardis Robert Martin Burton Jr. Like that's somebody else's name. No shade, but like that is a big name. So
That's
okay.
like Rothaniel.
Whew, yes, it is definitely. But he's an American actor, director, television host. He's best known, it says here. I don't know. This is debatable for Geordie LaForge in Star Trek: Next Generation, which I do know him from that. But also, he played Kunta Kinte in ABC's Ministry's Roots, and that was like in this like 1977, I think. He also was the host of PBS Kids educational television series, Reading MFN Rainbow, the MFN I put in there, for over 23 years, you guys, like national treasure status. So he's received 12 Daytime Emmy Awards and a Peabody Award as host of executive producer on Reading Rainbow. And here it says, of course, in the NAACP award, outstanding actor.
Color people.
Yes, let's go color people. And then I want to say he won a Burton received a Grammy Award for Best Spoken Word Album at the 42nd Annual Grammy Awards for his narration of the book, The Autobiography of Martin Luther King Jr. So boom. Okay, he's accomplished. We know him, we love him. He
You know what
is
we need to do? We need to give
what?
out some Fab Awards.
I was about to call you a B word.
You
I'm
can
trying to
call
be
me a
better.
B word, B word.
Bitch! No, please. We should.
Moni said the P word.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we need to do,
gosh. Be
and
prepared for the
actually,
B
and we're
word
gonna
if
put
you're
on
listening.
Patreon.
Oh my
So
God,
look
the
for
Fab
that. We're gonna do
Awards.
some Fab Awards on the Patreon,
I love
and
us. This is great. And I'm
and
glad we
just
have
a
this on the
spoiler,
record.
LeVar Burton's get one. We
He's
don't know what the
definitely getting one.
category is yet, but
Category is serving life.
I mean, is
Okay.
it fair to say that Reading Rainbow was an inspiration for the Fake Ass Book Club?
I mean, first of all, don't even get me started because you know it was.
I asked that question to get you started. I'm putting a battery in your back.
Yes, you are. And I appreciate and don't appreciate that all at the same time. So all I have to say is
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow.
okay, I'm just gonna stop it there. I don't know if we get in trouble.
I
Wait,
can
it keeps going. Stop. Okay, no.
anything.
I'm back together now.
I used to look forward to that so much. Like, just
stop playing with
ridiculously
me.
happy when that show came on.
Like, stop playing with me. I got my
And
life.
I think he has infotained me so much.
I like what you did there, friend.
I can't believe how much game I've gotten from Well, let's just get into it because we can go on and on all day about
Listen, we're about to paint a whole picture for Lavardis right now.
actually, you
So,
know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna say it now so that because I know you'll look it up and put it in the notes. There's a fantastic clip from Community where Donald
that
Glover, aka Childish Gambino, meets LeVar Burton and can't talk.
would be.
And it's so funny because I'm like, yeah, that's what it would be like because I
Oh, I
can't.
found it. I wish I had it to put on here. Yes, I remember this.
Actually, we have video magic. I can just throw it up
Oh
there.
my
And
God.
actually, what I'm going to do is like, if you can look towards the middle of the screen, I'll freeze that. And then we'll just like
Okay,
act
wait.
like it'll be like,
Wait, is this the middle? No, this is the middle.
yeah. Okay. And then we'll see. We'll see if I do that. If I don't, I'll just
Okay.
cut this part out.
That's fine. Okay. Well, it's listen, I mean, he's a whole vibe. And so we were just super. I mean, I
Mhm.
honestly, did you even know he wrote a book? I mean, this was back.
No,
Like, how did I
I that
miss
was the
this?
year. Well, I mean, 97. You were a junior in high school
I
because
was.
I
Thank you for putting
was
my business in the street.
because that is the year I graduated from high school because we had a little chant that went 97, 97, 9999997.
That
So
was terrible.
it, you know,
But okay.
we were good at other stuff.
Okay. I'm with it. I'm
Coming
with
up
it.
with chants, and it sounded better than that. I wasn't doing it with the enthusiasm
Well, it's okay. I
that we
forgive
had
you.
back in those days, but
Back in those days. Yo, I don't have a lot of stuff I had back in those days, so
Yo, for
it
real.
is what it is, though.
Like these kids.
Wow. So, yes. So why don't you so now I do have sort of a breakdown of, what I know. So like we already like I didn't finish the book, but I don't know if you want me to kind of give you why don't you? I
Well,
feel like I've been talking a lot.
well, here's my thing, because in the general breakdown, you said there were like 4 characters,
Yes.
and I felt like, okay, I wanna make sure I'm thinking of the right 4 characters because there were a lot of people in the book.
Okay,
So,
so
obviously,
who do you consider Leon?
Leon,
Leon, yes.
because I feel like he was a big mover because he's like a scientist, he's like a rocket scientist,
And we kind of
and
start off with him.
yeah, so
So
he's who stuck out to me. There was Renee,
Renee
who was
Reynolds. Yep, yep,
also
yep.
a bomb scientist.
She was.
Amy, the
Amy, a
orphan
lone
girl,
orphan child, yeah.
little orphan Amy,
Mhm.
and I kept getting
Jake Bar Cloud.
Jacob and Joseph mixed up because like his
Okay.
father was Joseph, right?
Yes.
And then Jacob took up kind of his dad's mantle. I think
So wait, no, see now I'm confused. I don't know.
I got
Um,
and listen, it was kinda long and I was doing a lot of stuff while I was listening, so I kinda because I know at some point Daddy fired because what was the last name?
Firecloud was the last name.
Firecloud. So Daddy
Mhm.
Firecloud ends up kinda saving Jacob or son Firecloud at some point. But because
Yeah.
both of them had J names, like, when stuff is like that, I
Mixes.
flip a lot of stuff a lot of times in my brain, so
Okay, I think that's fair.
the fire clouds because they were I really like the fact that he was showing sort of like Black and Native American
I'm sorry. I just looked down at
cooperation.
that. I'm
I
sorry.
love that. Why are you trying to turn me on?
Oh
Like,
wow.
why would you do that?
Wow.
Like,
LeVar, did you hear that?
for the listener, she
Didn't
just
mean to
showed me a
turn you on.
picture of LeVar
I didn't
Burton,
mean to
like, in a
turn you on. He
reclining
was like,
pose with the Reading Rainbow logo, and so, yeah,
I'm sorry, that was a
yeah.
distraction. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
go.
I'm gonna chalk that up to sexual harassment. You're gonna have to take a seminar
Oh
later.
wow. There's no HR
Yeah.
here. Don't worry about it.
No,
Sorry.
I'm HR.
No, you're
Surprise.
not actually. You're fired. No, no, you're not. Actually.
I would be
Arm
so
wrestle
bad
me and
at that
then
job. I'd have been like, "Yeah, do what you want." Like, ain't nobody suing us.
you have to arm wrestle
What are
me
they
to
gonna
see what
take?
happens.
What are you gonna take? These wigs?
Right. Like, listen, you don't want them, they don't fit your head.
Actually, let's not play. Don't take my wig.
They're not gonna fit. I'm sure they're
Whatever.
coiffed to your head or whatever.
No, they're all demi
They're
wigs. I
standard.
always leave out the top.
Okay, let's move on. This is a hair episode, guys. Sorry about that. We're easily distracted. So Jacob
We
Firecloud.
are. Oh, right. So yeah,
Him.
so it's Jacob. Okay.
Okay.
So what were we
I
gonna
would say
call him,
Jacob.
Jake? Even if I'm wrong, whatever.
It's
You who
fine.
come at me.
It was from the 1900s. Y'all don't
So
even
it's
know.
and I like it because it's an ensemble cast. So we're following at different points. We're following the POVs of these different characters. But basically, what had happened is Renee, she's like a super hot black scientist, and she develops the cure for everything, which is the neural enhancer, and it's stolen from her. So right before it gets stolen from her, she his old tech alert. She put the codes and stuff on this disc
On a floppy disk.
and
No, it
yeah,
wasn't.
and, like or I thought it was a compact disc.
No, I just wanted to say floppy disk. It was a compact
Yeah,
disk,
floppy
but that
yeah, I
just
was about to say,
sounds
even in
funny.
'97, we were done with floppy disks.
Oh my god.
So, and, like, she puts him in the, like, pocket of, like, this homeless man, and that's Leon, and Leon is a disgraced scientist who lost his family, in a fire because he had published a paper about how, space launches or, like, the rocket launches were causing, extreme weather
Like
patterns.
global warming, basically.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so,
And basically got NASA like shut down and people were
yeah, like it
pissed.
shut down like the space program and also got people super mad at him. So like it got his house firebombed and he lost his daughter and wife in that explosion and then ultimately his career and ended up homeless. Also, the United States is fall like the whole world is falling apart
Thank you
basically.
for getting me
Yeah. And
started.
so
So, cause like, can I just pop in there real quick for the
yeah,
backstory? So
please.
this basically like so everything leading up to all of these events were basically like an American Civil War. It was like set
Oh, because they
between
killed the first black president.
yes, it was between what 2015 and 18. And America is launching like this permanent space station up in space. And then also at the same time, the first black president elect, because he wasn't even actually he didn't make it to office before he got shot. He got murked real quick,
Right.
real quick. And he couldn't even take office. But that's when like a civil war basically erupted, and it was solely based on race. Like it's kind of like giving what our modern day shit is giving right now, which was kind of weird. So backdrop, that's the backdrop of all of this random shit happening. So continue.
Build the wall.
Do it.
And so and then there's little orphan Amy who is kind of like a street rat. Think Aladdin.
But
Like she's
white.
living
But
out on the
white.
streets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we meet her. She's like about to get raped and like fights off her attacker and
Wait, can
um
I ask you something about the rape?
sure,
What
attempted
was
rape.
attempted? What was the significance of it? Just
I think it's just to show like an unprotected child. Like that's pretty much what you have to look forward to.
right.
Um Like, that's why we protect children the way they do. Like, a lot of people wanna have sex with children. It's very, very unfortunate, but, like, we've talked about this before on the show, like, I think, like, the majority of my time is spent doing hair and preventing rape.
I
So
really hate that this comes up so much. But okay, so I'm not gonna laugh because it's not funny, but I'm uncomfortable. So I'm asking from the standpoint of rapes make me uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I'm asking from this standpoint, and I might
well,
be
get
jumping
comfortable with
ahead.
it.
I don't want to. It's just like okay. Well, remind me to go back to this because I feel like I
Okay.
would like for you to go through. I like to interrupt, but go ahead and go through. But
No,
let's go back to that
I
because I
think
don't
it's
know the
important because a
significance.
big part of civilization is the fact that, like, in a civilized society, we don't rape. So I think, like, it just sort of
We
when we
don't.
learn about when we learn about, like, societies collapsing, that is usually one of the first, like, social prohibitions that just go by the wayside,
It's like, oh, we rape
which
now.
is yeah, and we kinda saw
Okay.
that too in, because a lot of this story Monique, come back. She went out of frame. Um, I don't know, to me, it just
Oh
whenever you hear
god, it's
about, like,
so
stuff going
terrible.
because that was it happens every time anytime you take the time to listen to stories, like, when, um, a disaster happens, there's always it seems like that comes up.
Superdome,
I was gonna bring up
Katrina,
Superdome,
rapes, like, it was a
the
whole
Arab
situation.
Spring,
Everything.
pretty much, like, yeah, whenever you have
Damn.
these kinda things, like, yeah, I think at times people use the chaos to be like, "Oh, The Purge, yes?"
Even
Because even in The Purge, it's like, damn, why did everybody go straight to rape
straight to rape. This is
and
what's
murder?
crazy, and murder. This is what's crazy. This is a sidebar real quick. I was listening to Sorry We're Canceled. Shout out to Deion Curry and BT. And I remember, I don't know what the conversation was, but it was something like, chaos ensues in this.
Yeah.
And BT was like, yeah, rapes. Like that's what's going down. And
I remember that one.
and Deion was like,
Cause it's like,
why
no,
though?
why? And then I felt because I
Why?
forgot who else was on the was it Wyatt? Because he was like, yeah, it's gonna get rapey.
It's gonna be
Like even Wyatt was like,
they gonna
yeah.
be raping dog.
Pretty much, but actually that does like, and I won't get on a whole thing about this, but like in animal kingdoms with mammals, like kind of the
Kids for
society
raping.
is, well, the way the society set up is really whether the females can be raped or not. And so like in elephants and whales, like they're unrapeable.
I
So
think you
they
said this
have,
before.
I
You know what?
have.
Wait, stop, please.
So they have matrilineal, they have women-led societies because they can't be raped, but primates are generally patriarchal because we're so rapeable.
Okay,
And
stop.
that's
Just stop. We're gonna stop right there
okay.
because I look crazy. So we have to stop there with that. That
Well, we
Patreon
can
episode, the whole rape situation. Like I think that was on. So you guys tune in. I hate to be extra
we're going to be a
slippy.
34-part series on rape
Like,
on Patreon because that's how many episodes it's going to take. It really shapes our society so much. And also
okay.
too, like basically we have to keep society and civilization together.
We
That's
do,
a
but
big reason.
I guess the reason why I was asking specifically about Amy because she was so young. She was like 10 or 11. And
Yeah.
it was and food was scarce and this dude was like
Mhm.
offering her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She was like, I'm here for it. And if he tried to rape her or whatever, didn't.
She cut his ass with a broken bottle.
Good for her. Slashed him.
Yeah, that was satisfying.
But I guess I was asking too because later in the story it was like I don't feel like she learned anything from the attempted rape. Like not like
Well, she's very young.
okay, but if
Because even
listen,
think about how she was in her brain because she felt guilty for cutting him. She thought she was gonna go to, like, to hell and was gonna get arrested and put in
I
the
remember.
electric chair. So
Okay,
she
but
has
that
a
stuff is
child's
all
brain.
fantasy. Right. I understand that. But I'm saying though, like as a 10-year-old, and I mean, this is a fictional character, but it just felt like so you're just going off with these motherfuckers over here though? After
Yes.
you just
Yeah, that's why children
we
have
can
to
get
have
back to it.
protectors.
They do. Okay, I guess. I guess I was
Yeah,
like, so I
that's
mean,
why we don't let them do things. Like, no, they don't know how to think.
she
Like,
didn't
yeah.
think that there could be another rape behind the corner, like at all.
No, she didn't even have context for the fact that he was raping her. Like, she just knew
No,
something
she did have context because she
no,
was like, I
like
saw this happen
but,
before.
like, even then, like, she didn't even have the context to think, "I did the right thing by fighting this guy off." Like, she felt a ton of guilt for that because she thought, like, "They're
I'm
gonna
going to
come after me for cutting that guy," and she
I'm
thought
going
she
to
had
jail.
killed him. Like, she thought she was, like, really
Like
I
I
think
remember
that, I think Jerry
saying.
Seinfeld had a really good, term for children. He called them candy idiots. Like how we have to have all these speeches to like tell
Oh,
children don't get into vans with strangers with candy because they'll just be like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And
every
it's like,
time
I mean, it happens and I mean, really
after
like
you had to slash somebody, thought you killed them.
and
Like,
it
there was
was
just no, like, remnants of that. There was no, like, "Oh my god, this could be that situation again." Like, we didn't even get no echoings of that. I'm just saying I felt like I mean, it
Moni
wasn't
is
even
a
like
victim blamer
is that what I'm
and
doing?
yes,
I'm
no,
not saying
like
she deserved to get raped. I'm just saying, like and she didn't get raped, by
no,
the way, the second time. I'm just
right.
saying, like, I just didn't to me, it seems like it would have been, like wouldn't she have, like, mentioned that? Because my thing was, like, why was the rape significant? Like, to me, it should have just been, like I
Or
mean, I get what
attempted
you're s
rape.
the attempted rape. Well, listen, we're talking about rapes too much. Let's move on.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, next. Let's move on from the rapes. So then
Okay,
we have
so,
Jacob's our clout
yeah, and
now.
then we have, Jacob who, um, originally, like, he grew up on a reservation and tried to get out and couldn't handle it, kind of became an alcoholic. His dad had to come and, like, heal him and teach them their ways and was like, "Hey, you gotta find the white buffalo woman. She's gonna keep the 3rd shaking from happening," which was, like, a part of their, sort of indigenous, spiritual practice. It was a prophecy in that. So, one of the side effects of the neural enhancer that, Renee invented that, like, could cure everything basically, like, it worked on your it enhanced your brain so that it healed itself. So in itself, it wasn't a cure. It just taught your brain how to cure yourself. But it also, in her case, gave her psychic abilities. So when she gets kidnapped, she sends out this message. Generally, she was at, she gave him running from her attackers to like come, because they were in Atlanta or something, or he was, or Leon was in Atlanta,
Mhm.
and whatever ended up happening, she getting kidnapped and taken to Chicago. So she was like, "Come to Chicago and help me." So Leon gets the message. Amy, just like just as a side effect, gets the message. She thinks it's her dead mom, calling to her, or well, who's likely. It's more than likely Amy's mom is dead, but she still has hope. Her mom might still be alive somewhere and just has amnesia, and so she thinks it's her mom magically calling out to her. And then Jacob Firecloud, I think he was just told by his dad. Did his dad hear it or something? I can't
Yeah,
remember
his
how Jacob.
dad went up to
Okay,
here, like, he went up to the mountain, like, smoking his tobacco, trying to get, you know, like, have this experience, and then he was like, "Oh, I saw the
he
white
picked up
buffalo."
on it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and got him to go up there and stuff. So yeah, so the movie, or the movie, because to me it was like really like a movie. Like the way he wrote it, it was sort of like a screenplay almost. It was because I would like to see this made. This would be really interesting, and it also gave me a lot of vibes like Octavia Butler. I read Parable of the Sower not too long ago,
Oh,
and it was
really?
dealing with this, like the collapse of society, and there were a lot of similarities, like
Well,
maybe
let's
something
talk
starting.
about I wanted to kinda go back, though, because Renee, like, the whole reason why she ended up being kidnapped was because the one, like, background thing that was happening that I thought was really crazy, so, like, you know, again, this was, like, in 1997, so and I'm thinking, like, when he was making this story, it's like, okay, you know, you always hear about global warming and how, like, the ozone layer is getting thinner, and you think about people who are less melanated, you know, with skin cancer and not being able to withstand
The
basically the
rays.
radiation and stuff like that that comes, and at this particular point in time, you know, you have this therapy or this cure, if you will, where people who are less melanated, people who we will refer to as white, can graft like black people's skin to their skin so that they don't get burnt in the sun. Now, why they don't just throw hats on or wear outfits, I don't know. But this is like a
Well,
thing,
and
but and it's
this.
super expensive, and you have to be, you know, basically like if you have this thing, they call them zebras because you have patches of like either black or like darker complected people, you know, to protect your skin from being like ulcer, like a walking ulcer, basically, which is disgusting.
Yeah, it was
Um,
that was a very
I was like,
fascinating take
I
of
did. I thought that was
speculative.
really because I mean, like, that is a thing that people say, like, as we diversify as the human species, like, it's like you might wanna like, you know, we talk about eugenics, we talk about keeping things pure, and it's like, I mean, but if you just keep inbreeding and you're clear now, like, how do you even the world just getting
Live.
hotter. Yeah, like, it's just getting hotter. There's more radiation, like, how are you surviving? So, I thought that was an interesting sort of point to add in there, and,
Yeah.
with her, neurotransmitter,
It wasn't a transmitter, it was a
whatever,
neural
neuro fancy thing that cured
stimulator.
everything, sure. That it, she was kinda shopping it before it was, like, on the market because she was trying to create, like, a bidding war
Mhm.
because she was trying to get paid for it, and it was kinda like the guy who came up with the skin grafting thing, he was one
Sinclair.
yes, he was another sort of,
He's the bad guy, he's the big
yes,
bad.
yes, he had a, I think you said was it? Yeah, Sinclair. His corporate interest basically ended up the reason why she was kidnapped was because he felt like if this shit comes out, like, we're supposed to research for cures and stuff, that's how we make money. So
Yeah.
this bitch is about to basically be cutting into our money, and we can't have that.
But
So
to me, that was crazy because it's like, okay, you stop. That's always a losing strategy to stop progress. Like,
I think so
you're
too.
just gonna have to learn. Everybody who's
Something
been treating
else.
stuff. How about learning how to make like the thing, like, and how to, because those are gonna need maintenance, and like that's
Girl,
gonna be its own industry and stuff like that. Like, there's always something to do.
yes,
So don't be like, oh, if we don't have coal. It's like
We'll figure it
we'll
out.
figure it
We'll
out. We'll
figure it
find
out.
another job. It's called universal basic income. You'll be
Oh,
fine.
here we go. There we go. Put it out
I'm
there,
just
friend.
saying
Put it out.
that's
I'm not.
the
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
just
hey.
saying, like, yeah, like it's like, oh, let's just keep poisoning the planet because of economic interests.
Yeah, stupid.
Um, and it's actually not even all that economically interesting. Like, that's not really you have to look towards the future when it comes to stuff like that. But
Yeah, you
yes,
do.
I'm glad you brought that up
Yes.
because that was creepy as hell. It turned out that not only were they skin grafting, but poaching organs. So like they
Gross.
were basically just they were gross.
There was
I didn't
like a
like it. So
whole
what part did you leave off
fucking
at?
ring. So
Ring. It was
let me
basically
go.
just a new slave trade. Because
Yeah.
even the way he described it, like he even I was gonna put it in the notes, but then he said it in the book where he was like, yeah, it was like slave ships because they
Ah,
were just rounding
ah,
people up.
sorry.
Bah, ah.
So professional. Oh my gosh. This
But
was
yeah,
something
the
else.
but yeah, because they were just rounding up like dark skinned people and like skinning them, literally skinning them so that they could sell their skin for the skin grafts, but also their organs too, because those are
Oh man. I
valuable as well. And it was just really, really it was
okay.
sad.
So I think where I left off, Renee was like, she was in Chicago. She was trying to do the mental telepathy thing, calling out to everybody. And it was at the point where she was about to be rescued, I think. Like
Okay.
it was getting pretty close to that part.
Okay. So had we already gotten to the point where Jacob saves that boy from like he had a really bad fever, like he and I want to say Red were on the road
I
and
remember they were on the road together. They had
okay.
already met because yeah, he killed
Then they
those
met a
people.
woman who was like selling rabbit
No,
and
I
they
don't
were
think that's
like
the
negotiating. Okay, so at a certain
mm,
point they were on
mm.
the road and they stop and there's this woman and oh, because they had to pass tolls. So they were at a toll road and the toll was like 50 cents, and then there was a woman selling rabbit skewers, and they were like $2, and they were like, haggling a little bit. It's like $2. That's
Right. Good
crazy.
Lord, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Jacob's like, "Man, I sent something." He's like, "Who's sick?" And she was like, "Oh, my son." And he was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, take me to him." And so he heals him, but because he's like, I can kind of sense like um
It's like I be doing that
something's
shit, you
up
know what I'm
because
saying?
he
I
said
be
I can
healing people.
smell. He was like, I can smell this thing, I can tell, like I can pick up like someone's ill. And so she's like, yeah, it's my son. So he goes to him and he's all like catatonic and stuff, has this high fever. So he's like, okay, let me look. And he guessed correctly that he had a tick on him because he was like, yeah, if you had rabbit, that means somebody had to hunt it and like things can happen because there's no rabbits around here. They had to go into the brush. So he's like, I bet he's just deductive reasoning. He's like, I
Mhm.
bet he has a tick on him somewhere.
That's all
And he,
medicine is, by the way.
yes, exactly. And Jacob was pretty much a medicine man. So he finds the tick and pulls it out and is like trying to revive him and stuff like that. And eventually he takes him down to the river and kind of like revives him. And it reminded me a little bit of P Valley when they took Miss Ernestine to the river.
Right.
It's just this kind of idea of sort of like a baptism in a way. And but it was kind of interesting because um to me it was the way he wrote it, like the young man was trying to fight Jacob when he like got his spirit back, basically, when because he didn't know what was going on. He just woke up naked in the water with some dude he didn't know. So he just
That would be
started
alarming.
so he just immediately started fighting Jacob. And I wrote in my notes, I'm like, huh, it's kind of like it's very natural actually when you try to save people. A lot of times they will attack you for trying to save them. You think about like Harriet Tubman, she wrote about that all the time. She had to carry a gun a lot of times to turn on the slaves that she was trying to rescue
Mhm.
because they didn't even realize they were slaves a lot of the
So
times. Like,
crazy.
yeah, it's just kind of this, that's what it made me think of. And also, too, the tick was sort of a reminder that even when you're hunting, you're being hunted. So,
Ooh.
you're hunting rabbits, but something's hunting you.
Mm.
And so you're just, it ain't safe.
You gotta, yeah, keep your eyes open out here.
Yeah, so that was
Okay.
something that was a part of the book that really, really stuck out to me. But what ends up happening, they all get to Chicago. Amy, it was actually really cute because she ran into like this woman who was like really nice to her, like helped her get new clothes, bathed her, gave her some food, and then she was able to kind of hit. Oh, and Danny, that was the other person. I thought like that he might have been a part of the book. Did you get to him? Danny was the Filipino dude.
No.
No, well, there was
Not
also a dude named Danny. He was kinda helping out and stuff, and so, they all get to Chicago, they break her out, but, there's all this intrigue and drama and stuff like that. They end up, pretty sure
now,
they kill.
how in the world to get her out of there though? She was like chained up and shit, like with guards and stuff. So,
How did she
do you remember?
I don't. I don't
Okay.
remember the exact details of how they got her out,
Okay.
but
Okay. You were listening to Top
is a
Speed, so
lot of
who knows?
stuff. Yeah, a lot of
Uh-huh.
rigmarole, like, she ends up escaping. Leon ends up getting there. He's like, "Hey, I got the things." And so what she ends up doing is using the codes and uses the neurotransmitter thing to um basically kind of Professor X the situation. So like all the guards that were in the building, like she got them to turn on each other so
Oh
that
shit.
they stopped coming after them.
Okay.
And then they end up it was kind of sad cuz Jacob ended up dying.
Oh, did
And
he?
yeah,
How?
like, in an attempt he ended up getting shot, by some of the thugs, I wanna say, and then but not before he's able to get the gun to one of our protagonists, and they end up shooting Sinclair, so he ends up dying, and then they're able
Dang.
to shut down the whole skin grafting ring and stuff like that, and it ends with, Leon and Renee hooking up. I kind of felt like that came a little out of left field, but yeah, they got together and she kind of used the neurotransmitter to help
Get an orgasm?
probably that'd be
I
awesome.
was just saying.
Um like
It's like, Leon, you're whack. No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
no, she used it to help him because he was tortured by the death of his wife and daughter. So
Right.
he was able to sort of get past the trauma of that with the help of the neurotransmitter and like kind of gave him a renewed sense of purpose, helping her
Of course.
help Renee with the thing. Amy gets adopted by Danny and
Those
his
people who
family.
could have been rapists. Yep.
Well, they weren't. So
Thankfully, they
not
weren't.
everybody. We're gonna have to start calling it
As
the
far as
R
we
word
know, the R word. Yeah.
because man, we say that too much. Like they're gonna like flag it on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
like
This
these
is, yeah.
are
They're doing a lot.
but
But yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much how it ends.
What I'm going to say is, I feel like, yeah, and I mean, okay, so I can't give a I didn't finish the book. So like just based on what you're telling me, I liked what I read of it. I do feel like a lot of that is based in the fact that it was LeVar Burton. And he
Mhm.
was narrating, and his voice is so iconic, and it's so a part of
And
my
they had
childhood
good,
and stuff. So,
sound design because
oh,
it wasn't throughout the whole
they
thing,
did have sound
but, like,
design.
especially at the end when,
Really?
it starts, like, the climax and stuff, they have, like, the sound effects and stuff like that. It did get, like, audio cinematic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did have that. I did enjoy that. Okay, so then they had sex, is what you're saying? Like
Oh,
they
yeah, they
hooked up.
boned hard.
What? So
Yeah.
he had a hardcore sex scene at the
No,
end
no,
of
no, no,
this?
no, 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 no. They
Oh,
just you just know
it
it's
was
like
like, they boned.
yeah, like,
Mm.
they like, he I mean,
How
he said
old
it
was Leon? I don't know, his name just
uh,
sounds old. It was like, "Really? Leon, you
it
can
was
still
the
get it up?"
'70s, or not '70s, Jesus,
I'm about to say,
'90s.
okay,
But he would
okay,
have been, from the '70s though, like,
okay.
the
He would
name
have
would have
been
been
from the se
anyway.
the name was from the '70s for
For
sure.
sure, for sure. I don't know how old anybody was except Amy.
I just well, and her storyline to me was also just kinda like, I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand.
I think he just wanted to have, like, a really diverse cast.
Was that based on which I did enjoy? You think that was based on like remember in the beginning he was saying like the creator gave each group each population, if we talk about them as populations, like
Mhm.
control over certain elements.
Yeah,
And I
so
was
he
like,
had
so maybe he
each.
tried to have each, yeah, like fire was for, what we call white people. I think was the water for black people. The air was the indigenous folks, and well, those people sometimes are black as well, but Native Americans. And then what was the other one?
Um,
Or no, wait, air was for Asians, I think, right? Because
yes,
she and breathing.
yes.
So what was for Native
Oh, well, we didn't
Americans?
have any. Oh, I guess maybe Filipino would have been Asian.
Asian, yeah, and
Pagani.
wasn't cinnamon
Oh, red.
yeah, wasn't he Asian too? I think he
I thought
was.
he was black.
Nah,
Oh,
no, I'm pretty sure he was Asian.
oh, cool.
But anywho, I
Um,
did like the multiculturalism. He tried to put that in there,
yes.
but I honestly don't understand. I mean, I get the feeling of like, okay, yeah, kids, like if it's post apocalyptic, obviously they are targeted and blah blah blah. But I don't know. Like her story, I just didn't understand what was going on with that because it was like, okay, she got I yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I loved her side story. I mean, she survived, so that was great, but I just didn't get the point though, I guess.
I mean, I got it.
Did
Like
you?
it was just to show like it's just the diversity of how a young child who doesn't have school, who doesn't have parents. Like, I thought it was really interesting getting into her mind and how she saw stuff. And even when she heard the voice, she was just immediately like, oh, that's
That's
my
my
mom.
mama. That's my
And
mama.
that just motivated her so
Yeah.
hard. And she just believed it without any kind of second thought, even though she didn't like people asking questions about it. I thought it was kind of to me it was giving a child's thoughts.
Yo, he now that part I will give you. I felt like you understood everything. So like from that standpoint, yes. I guess I just in the larger picture of the story, the overall narrative, it was like I was waiting for it to land somewhere and I just feel like it didn't necessarily. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, overall it was a good book. So after they boned, what happened? That was it. They
Yeah, it's
happily
just
ever
like she
after.
saved me with her love and sensitivity.
Oh, geez. Okay. So I don't know if I love that either, if I'm just being honest. But
I
I didn't
didn't
read it, so I don't
actually
know.
I don't usually like a tacked on romantic subplot, especially right at the end. Like it kind
Yeah.
of hit me kind of quick where it was like, man, Leon and I can't remember exactly how it came because
Leon.
as soon as he said it, I was like, well, damn. Because,
So,
but I
yeah.
mean, it would be kind of hard not to,
Bone the person who saved you?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I mean, if you're not
If his
gonna
name is Leon and he's old though, like I just picture him being older than her and being
if
like, "Yeah,
you
you probably can get
listen,
it
and
up."
this is just a general announcement to anybody, if you like rescue me from a skin grafting organ factory,
Yeah,
you're at
I'm not
least you're at least getting like
you're very accommodating. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. I hope y'all saw that on video. I
yeah.
listen, I'm not promising you shit. I appreciate you. Shit, I might make you a sandwich or something if we come
What
across
does
some
it
meat.
take?
I
God,
don't know, but I can't. I'm not just putting it. Listen, I don't know.
it's like I should have just left you in that organ factory.
Maybe you should have. If you thought that you was getting some ass for rescuing me, yeah, you should have left me there.
I've given it
You
up
should
for
have raped
rest.
that little 10-year-old girl then. You know what I'm saying? Like she was out here.
Damn.
Actually, I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying, like, if it's
No.
that serious.
I'm just saying, like, no man has ever done that for me, and I've given it up. So I might as well and I'm serious, I might be sent into fits of grateful arousal. Like, I might just have to. Like,
Okay. Well, I'm just saying I might not. Okay. I
it's
just don't want
cold
you to get
world.
your hopes up. So
Cold world. So I'm just saying, like, if you have the opportunity to rescue somebody, who you gonna
make it her.
rescue?
Don't make it me. Yeah. Do you want a sandwich or what? I'll find some food.
I'll make you a sandwich and the thing I did earlier.
And guess what? You might have that to look forward to at some other time, but not just because you rescued me.
I think that's enough of a let us know, listeners.
I'm just saying.
That'll be a nice poll.
I need to see Leon, right? It's like, so should we give it up to the man who saved us instantly because he saved us? No, that's my thought. But
Jeez.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, what if it's whack? I don't know. I just need more information. And plus, his name is. I mean, no shade
What
against
if he had
anybody
had
named
that
Leon.
attitude about saving me? He's like, man, what if this is whack?
He shouldn't have. He almost did. He was getting ready to jump off the building. You know what I'm saying? He already had determined that life was whack. So
And you have the neural enhancer. The neural enhancer. That's what it was
enhancer.
called.
Wait, did she destroy it?
Hell no. She felt like guilty a little bit about
Making everybody kill themselves.
yeah, but
She
then
should be. Like, here's the thing.
why?
Well, no, not necessarily that.
The
Well, the
guards
potential.
at the organ skin factory? Like
Okay, not them. I'm saying
okay.
like
The potential, but every tool, every powerful tool has the potential to be misused.
so how do you keep it from
You
because they
don't.
were able to snatch that shit from you
Sure did.
and imprison you and cause all this other shit to happen. So like
Mayhem.
yeah, so my
You
thing is like, do
just
we get rid of it now? Because
no, like here's the thing, because you can use that, you could have that excuse for not inventing fire. You know what I
nuh-uh.
mean? Okay. Let's
Based
hear
on
a
nothing.
counterpoint.
That's it. Just nuh-uh.
I
Feels
feel
different
like
because I can't tell fire to go over to you and burn you up. I mean, it could eventually do that, but it's like, I mean, if the person who had the skin factory could just make all black people line up and walk into a skinning factory, it's like you don't want that to happen. So I think it's kind of like when you throw the ring back into the damn. Like the elder wand, when you get it, you keep it because it's the most powerful wand in the world. It's like, no, you crack that shit in half, you throw it in the goddamn ocean, and hope nobody else finds it again. Because this shit is terrible. I'm stressed out now because I'm not. I mean, I don't know about you. My upper body strength is really weak, and
oh, you see my wrists.
anybody, yeah, like it's just like, yo. I mean,
It's
I could be
not.
overtaken pretty easily, really. So it's like, I mean, do I really want to have
But
the
then
most
we have
powerful?
technology. Like I have a stun gun because I'm
But this
not
was in the
no.
1900s, though.
I
They didn't have
had a stun gun in 1900s.
a stun gun. That's your
Yeah, I had a
protection against
taser.
having the most powerful. No,
I didn't
that's
get
gonna protect.
raped.
My God, here we go. Okay. All right. So the R word, I'm saying if I have the thing that cures everything and I can also mind control them, like
Oh,
that
and she said
feels
too, not everybody gets that power from it.
right. So just that's what I'm saying. Like, so she was the only one that got that. I just feel like it's problematic. And you fucked Leon at the end, so I don't trust your judgment. So I don't really know what's going on right now.
I maintain that was the right decision.
She didn't even know him like that.
People, if someone like
You don't owe them your body. I'm sorry.
you don't
Fuck
owe
that.
them that, but man, like it's hard to, there's a reason.
No, it's not hard. It's actually not hard. It's not hard.
Being rescued is super hot. There's just no getting around it.
That's because you've been brainwashed. You've watched too many Disney
Okay.
movies. Okay, I'm just saying,
That's why
like, I don't buy into
like the
that.
firemen and stuff like that. Like all that stuff.
That
It's
shit looks
hot.
corny. Okay. It's
Okay.
corny. They probably have small. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I just feel like the hype around it is probably
Okay, so everybody,
more.
you were really discouraging your like rescue ability.
That's
Like
okay. I'm okay with that. I'll just die. Like, don't feel bad. It's
I
fine.
would rather put out than not get
I
rescued.
just don't want. I want to be in a world where that's not the like.
I
It comes
want to
down
have
to
that
that.
incentive, like maybe rescue somebody. Maybe they'll be super incentivized to. It doesn't mean they have to, but I'm just saying it works as an incentive. Like I'm more likely.
What if they're still terrible though? You know what I'm saying? Like just because they rescue, I mean, just like anything, it can be two sides to one coin. The
So
person
if
who
I'm
rescues
hearing you correctly, you're asking me like, what if the sex I have with my rescuer is bad? If that happens,
no, I'm saying like if he's a terrible person, really.
he's not though. He saved me.
I mean, in other areas, like what if he's like the worst?
But
In a lot of
Leon
other
wasn't.
ways.
He was like super great. Like his whole thing that he got in trouble for was like he had a bunch of integrity. He wanted to tell the truth about how he felt This was in oh, because that
You
was
know,
another
I'm
thing.
just doing this thing right now,
I
right? You
know,
know,
you
I'm
get me
just
all riled up.
yeah.
Here's the other thing. I put this in my notes because when he was talking about the paper he wrote about the space launches causing possible climate problems.
Mhm.
It was an episode of Star Trek where Geordi
Oh,
was
here
kind
we
of the
go.
bad
No, I'm just
guy
kidding. I'm kidding.
because they found out that in certain pockets of the galaxy, warp travel was causing issues with certain planets. Like,
Mm.
and Jordy was super resistant to hearing that because he was like, no, warp technology has done so much for, humanity and other alien species. It's been proven safe. You guys are wrong. And one of the alien dudes like ended up actually killing himself to prove it, but he
Mm.
did. And then Jordy was like, damn. And so it's
Well, okay, at least he could be, persuaded. That's important.
exactly. So I felt like, at least within the context of this fictional novel, like it
I
was,
know I'm being totally like, I
yeah,
don't really
like,
care.
and
I'm just
and so
saying the
let me just
opposite.
be clear, you shouldn't have to sleep with your
Thank
rescuers,
you.
but if I was in a
I mean,
situation
if he was hot and I
where,
wanted to, sure. But I'm just saying, like, not just because you rescued
yeah.
me, might. Plus, no, just no. I
I'm
just
just saying
reject
the
that.
rescue is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm not saying that's the only factor, but it's pretty hot. Like, I would just, because even if the sex was bad, I would just be thinking about, like, "Hey, I still have skin on my body and get to have, like, breakfast tomorrow."
Yeah,
Like, to me, that would feel pretty great. Like, even today, like, today was a beautiful autumn day. Like,
it was
the
fabulous.
breeze, it was just gorgeous, and I was like, "Oh, it feels so good to be alive.
I
I'm
had
so
that
glad
same
to."
moment today, honestly.
Yes, it
I
felt,
promise. It
the
was
the
beautiful.
sun-dappled leaves on the
It
trees,
was
like,
fabulous.
gently, like, looking like sequins. It
But
was
that's
just
different than somebody's
amazing.
soggy ball slapping against your ass, though. I'm
But
sorry.
I don't get to experience that unless somebody pulled me out of if you're Renee and you've also been captive for, like, weeks now.
Bitch, you were eating ham sandwiches. You had juice boxes. You was all
I don't
right.
eat pork.
Maybe all right. Bitch, you
It
had whole
was
sandwiches.
it was
I'm just being difficult. I don't
I
know why I'm doing this to
know.
you. I
I
really
don't
don't
either,
even.
but okay, so you don't get to write the book.
I guess I don't because I had 2.5 hours. From what I read though, I did like it. I mean, like mainly because I feel like Lavar Burton. I mean, hello.
All day
Hello.
long.
Yeah, so it was
Hello.
I mean, I loved listening to him talk to me. It didn't even really matter.
It
There was parts
didn't.
of it that I was like, I don't know. But I overall, I mean, it was from the 1900s too, so I have to keep that in mind. I did feel like some of the language too, you could notice like, oh God, we
Oh,
can say
yeah.
that now. But
Mm-mm.
I don't hold that against him or anything. I was
For
entertained
sure.
from what I
I
saw,
was.
from what I
I
heard. It was
was
good.
definitely entertained, and, I
I love
I
arguing with you for no reason. Like I don't even feel any strong way about it, but it's just fun getting you going there, friend.
sure, sure. Um, I'm gonna be a dork.
Mhm. Okay, so then should we rate the book then, do you think?
I'm going
Or you
to.
yeah, we as in
I'm
you.
gonna, um, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 neural enhancers.
Okay, now let's go, neural
Because I
enhancers.
definitely want one. A neural enhancer sounds great.
Yeah, cures cancer and everything else.
Yeah,
Like that
like,
would
it
be
just
super dope.
basically tells your body to stop doing the bad stuff and do the good stuff.
Well, he
I
needs
don't
to do part 2 to this book, I feel like. I wanna see what happens when they because like,
Yeah.
you've launched people into space, like, what happened? Are y'all all trying to get off of the planet now so you can relocate? Like, this is when we get into, Dawn and Octavia Butler. Like, are you gonna
Yeah.
interface with a new species? Like, what's going on
That sounds
here?
fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun way to go.
I'd like
Um,
that.
I wouldn't hate it. Also, I'm curious to know what happens with this, device she created because I just feel like it's potentially terrible to keep that shit around because at this point, nobody ever does anything good with the most powerful shit that you can ever have. Like, let's be for real. It's creating the next apocalypse situation. Like, that's basically what it ends up doing. It's too much. Humans are the worst, and you know this. You've read enough books to know this.
There's hope for humanity, I think.
Sure. Shook 'em.
Oh God, we need to take a break.
Let's take a break, you guys. We're gonna take a break,
You've earned it.
and we'll be right back.
Okay. I do use the break music.
You
When
do
you
use
play
it?
it, yeah, I use the
Oh,
thing
I
you
can do
do.
that one.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, boy.
guys.
Yeah, boy.
We deserve that break, friend. We
I
did. We did
definitely
a lot.
did.
We did a lot.
We
That
did.
was super fun.
Man. Man.
We finally made it, man. We finally made it. We got to talk about it. And I do think I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the book too, just so I can kind of like we can have a side conversation about the ending. Cause I
Yeah.
mean, based on what you're saying, it's like, oh, okay, that
We'll
was
have to do
interesting.
an episode where we finish like Moni and Kat finish the book. So we can do
Yeah.
one where I
Patreon.
finish like Jeanette McCurdy's book.
Yeah. Let's keep that for
And
Patreon. I feel like that's
yeah, we'll keep
perfect
it
way
there.
reason to make additional content.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we actually I think we have one already that has my follow-up of me changing my mind about watching Hunk for Jesus. Hunk for
Y-
Jesus.
yes.
Okay,
Save your soul.
thank you. I was like, I think I
Yeah,
might.
because originally you gave it kind of like a bad review, but then it's like, oh, I finished watching it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I still stand by the fact that it was hard for me to get into initially,
Yeah.
but it picked up and I got into it. So
It was kind
yeah,
of like, it reminded me a little bit of The Office.
The Office was like that. I always forget
Yeah.
about that. It was kind of
Like
slow
you
getting
have
into
to
it.
really kind of sit with the characters for a little bit because it's not like,
Like, what are we doing here? You do
yeah,
have to
it's not
kind of like,
formulaic. It's not like a formulaic sitcom. It's very
mm,
much a kind of salt of the earth sort of
not
bare
salt of the earth.
bones. Like, yeah, you just have to get into it's character driven for sure. And I think Honk
Absolutely.
for Jesus for sure because these characters are so infuriatingly tragic.
Oh, wow. That's a good way to call it. Fury. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Because it's
Um,
like I can't bring myself to totally love you, but also like I can't even bring myself to hate you either. Because damn.
cause damn, that's basically it. But yeah, so I think this is a good time to probably go into our Stranger Than Fiction story real quick.
Bam, 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 bam.
Do I need to cue the music for that as well or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm scared. All right, guys, here's our Stranger Than Fiction. All right, guys. So this week's Stranger Than Fiction, you know what got me thinking? So this book kind of like did center around a civil war in the United States. And it made me just think about how frightening it was to kind of hear some of these predictions from Lavar's book and how like some of the racial tensions and stuff exist right now and the super polarized sort of space that we're in politically and socially right now. And I came across an article. Some of these will be old, you guys. You'll have to forgive me because when I find something interesting, I throw it on a, throw it up and save it or whatever. But it was an article on Yahoo News about how Protestantism and its troubling history with white supremacy in our country. And it's crazy. And I'm gonna obviously put this in the show notes or whatever so you can read up on it. But um basically it says in the long overdue discussions taking place all over the legacy of slavery and racism in the United States, few appear to be addressing the relationship between religion and racism. This comes despite the notions of white supremacy being entwined with the history of religion in the United States. As a scholar specializing in the issues of religion and identity, this is the person writing this, obviously. I argue for a deeper introspection around how white supremacy permeates all parts of the American society, including its religious institutions. So I feel like this could be controversial for folks, especially if you consider yourself religious, but also like reading up on the history of it and race and religion and the intersectionality of those things kind of helps frame that conversation so that you can kind of take that in sort of objectively. Um, when you hear me reading in this article, what is that kind of trigger to you? Are you like, oh yeah, no, or is this something that resonates to you specifically?
Um, it reminds me a little bit of Kolabu's Sexy Part of the Bible,
Okay.
where we're kind of getting into the because yes, I feel like there we do kind of turn a blind eye and just sort of give a lot of religious institutions a pass because they're like, hey, nothing but Jesus over here. But honestly, it is used as a conduit to power. We see it now with a lot of political figures trying to use religious extremism to push their into where, like, you know what, that's supposed to be between you and, like, religious practice is supposed to be private. Like, ultimately, like, that's between you and your God. Historically, mission work has been used to sort of propagate colonialism and sort of subjugate and erase cult people's like original cultures because it's like, hey, you don't need that stuff anymore. You got our stuff now. And also, this insistence on Jesus being white. Like, I will never forget Megan Kelly on Fox News talking about Jesus is white, okay? Jesus and Santa, they're white. They're just white. The fact that she put just white, there was something about that was just very telling about how like there's nothing else in there. It's just white.
That's
And
crazy.
as we know, whiteness, much like Santa Claus, is just a myth. So
You've heard it here
you heard
first,
it here
guys.
first, people. Like, yeah, stop. Because even Santa to me feels like a propagation of white supremacy. It's like, no, it's not your black ass parents buying that. That is a magical, rich white man, and only if you're good. So
Mm.
so if you're not getting presents, that means you're bad.
It's a moral failing on your
You
part,
you poor
and
black bitch. Like,
wow.
like
Wow.
that's the messaging though. Like if you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have, it's because you're not,
You're not
worthy in
doing
some
enough.
way. You're on the naughty list.
Right, and that
So,
kinda, like, trickles into, like, some of the stories I've shared on Stranger Than Fiction too, like, when you have these pastors, like, bullying basically their congregation into buying them expensive watches or even just sort of propagating, and pushing forward the narrative of like, well, if you're not prospering and you're not doing well, it's because it's a direct reflection of your moral failing as a human and as a Christian. And you need to step your game up and you probably need to give me more money so that I can grab this jet or whatever and make sure I have, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, have my suit or whatever. And, those things should not be mute. Those shouldn't be, I don't think, ideas that exist in that same plane. So, I mean, I think for him to take the narrative of, like, the next civil war in the United States being along, like, the race lines, I mean, the first one was, and I think and it was more from a business standpoint, I will say it wasn't like a human rights issue or anything like that, but, you know, you could see it happening. I mean, like, I feel like that's a very real possibility at some point, which would be terrible, but, like, I also feel like things are super heated and super, separate right now. Even I had my kid ask me the other day something about Republicans and Democrats and stuff, and I was like he was asking me, and I'm like, I don't for one, I don't like binary stuff. He knows this, and it annoys him about me all the time because I'm just like, there's only 2 choices, which I feel like sucks initially. But I was like, I think I'm more liberal politically, but also I'm conservative about some stuff too. So I said, to me, it's like, who is this person? What do they stand for? How do their policies affect me, and the world around us? And so I try to base it on that because my thing is like, you shouldn't I think it's ridiculous that we are at a point now where it's like, well, if you support this person, we can't even have a conversation. I mean, I'd like to think that I'd be open to have a conversation with whomever because that's the only way there's any real understanding. That's um, that's why the storytelling portion of like what we do is super important too. And like taking in narratives that aren't yours are so fucking imperative. Like it can change your mind. And I think that like when we're in a spot where we're not even willing to hear another point of view so that we can, even if it doesn't change your mind, like sometimes just even reframing or having the story reframed in a way that you can understand, it lends itself to empathy and um maybe not like outright just fucking bitterness and hate, you
And
know,
outrage.
and
Yeah.
outrage because that is
Yeah.
where we go all the way fucking left, which is why we can't keep the neurotransmitter thing or whatever it's called because somebody's gonna get their hands on that shit and we're just gonna re-blow up the
We
world.
can
It's
say
just like
that with every single type of technology. Like, it
I'm saying especially
ultimately
that one.
okay. I
I'm
mean,
just
and
saying.
to me, it was something that was super fantastic anyway. Like, I feel like that was, um because as far as the technology went and the oh, wait a minute, was that, Stranger Than Fiction or was
Well,
yours
okay, yes, that was basically Stranger Than Fiction.
okay.
Yeah, let's end it there because I could read more. But basically, I brought that story up just because it was like we need to know
Yeah.
more about it, and I'll include it so you guys can read on it. This isn't like my opportunity to preach at you about why what I'm saying. Protestantism is or has been intertwined or whatever. But if you're interested in just understanding or learning a little bit more about that and the through line, please check out the notes. It'll be in there for you guys. And that was our Stranger Than Fiction story, you guys.
Yo.
Yeah, man.
Um,
So yeah, I just thought that was crazy because I don't think people put that through line together. Sometimes we like to pretend
agreed.
separate things when they're, I mean, historically speaking, not. So, um, but anyway, friends, I guess also, we should start trying to wrap this shit up. So let's spin the wait. What are we even spinning? Do we even
I was gonna ask you that.
don't ask me that?
I think
Oh
we should
wait.
just announce oh,
Yeah, let's just you know what, guys, we gotta keep it fake right now. There's a couple of books that we're working on, but I don't know which one we're gonna announce right now. So, I mean, we can spin the wheel just, for old time's sake if you want. Let's just spin the
yeah.
fucking let's spin the
Let's see
wheel.
what happens. Oh my god.
Yo, it's whatever the hell we want it to be. Ow.
Woo! We're free, y'all.
You
This is what
guys.
happens. You shouldn't
And
have never taught us how to read.
you should have never taught us. And also too, guys, this is a good opportunity. If there's anything you want us to try to cram in real quick that you want us to read, let us know. We can consider that. Like I said, we do have a couple books because you had mentioned an Olivia excuse me, Butler book. Um,
Octavia.
who am I talking about? Okay, see, this
You
is when it's time to go. I don't
yeah,
even know what's happening anymore.
yeah.
Octavia, and it was a O. So there's that.
Parable of the Sower.
Yes.
That one was here's the other thing though. I need something happy though. Like reading it was hard.
Oh,
Another reason why like I kind of waited to the last minute because it wasn't like Aftermath was bad. It was just very depressing. Like it's not a optimistic view of the
no. I was
future.
like, Lavar, Rips.
And it to me it was just so interesting that he and Octavia had so many of the same predictions.
Ooh, you know what? Maybe we'll have a guest on our next show. We have a lot of guests coming up, you guys. Like that's something I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to. So maybe it'll be a guest. We have so many people we want to talk to that we're super looking forward to. So could be a guest, guys. Could be a book. Could be us bullshitting. All of it's gonna be fun. So you're gonna want to tune in. So definitely don't miss it. Um, and I think that's probably it for me. Do you have anything you wanted to add before we get the hell up out of here, friend?
Your body belongs to you.
I mean, unless you get rescued, then you have to give it up to that person.
Yeah. Yep,
So
I'm
there's
staying on
that.
that, except
Um,
for yeah. Mhm. You owe 'em a
unless you're
piece.
me, apparently.
You
No,
owe
I
'em
got
at least a slice.
damn. I mean, can I a hug or some shit? We gotta be go straight to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, it has to but they have to be able to cup it.
man, good evening. Okay. What I'm gonna say is art makes life better Beauty makes life better. People who see you and affirm who you are make life better. So get in front of those things, do those things, participate heavily and
You know
often.
what else makes
And
life better?
man, listen, not when it's terrible, okay, and not when you feel like you have to, okay. So
Obviously, listen, no one's ever rescued me. So, it's not like I've ever been in a situation where like, "Oh, I'm so grateful. Now let's proceed into,
so that sounds fun. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not a little bit, yes, that's
I'm
kind
not.
of
I
a
mean, I'm
hot
asking.
scenario.
I'm just
Yes, there's a
asking.
reason why it's so in so many people's, like, fantasies and stuff. Like, yes, it's kind of hot. It's priming you.
I want the, and I'm only, it's because you care so much that this is when the contrarianism, this is not positive. This is not one of my most positive
Okay,
attributes either.
okay.
But I just wish there was like big old eyeballs that could come on the screen and just roll real slow around like whoop, just to, you know what I'm saying, just to hate on you basically.
Apparently, man, like, I don't think it's
You should feel
necessary, but to me, I'm just being realistic about how I would feel after somebody rescued me, because 'cause I'm like, "Wow, I'm blown away." Like, I've had people buy me dinners, give me flowers, write me letters. No one's gone through the trouble of putting their life at risk to get me out of a bad situation.
okay, well, I don't know why I'm being like this. I gotta go.
I
I think it's
mean,
just the time of day.
maybe.
And plus, yeah, I just like hearing you keep saying how much you give it up to whomever came and saved you. That's fun too, guys. So keep
I
that in
wouldn't
mind.
sit it's just an incentive if in case I ever get in trouble, I'm just saying.
Man, I wouldn't listen. I'm gonna be there, so it's probably not gonna happen, y'all.
Moni's just
So
gonna give you the deuces. Imma be
yeah, I
like,
mean, I'll give you some lively chit chat. Fuck it. I mean, I got that
she'll
for you,
give you
but
a one-arm hug.
yeah, probably. I'm more just gonna flirt. I'm not actually gonna give it up, guys. Just don't even worry about it. It's not gonna happen.
You
So
say that now. Let somebody
nah.
drag you out of a okay.
I mean, technically I got saved before though, so maybe that's why I'm not impressed. It's like, yeah, been there,
It's
done that.
never enough. It's never enough.
Yeah, to let my husband tell you that. He'll let you know. It's like, yeah, she is. There's nothing I could do,
This is
actually.
never enough.
Okay, on that note, let's get the hell out of here. Bye, friends. Come back next
But
week. Bye.
oh, yeah, and I play because I still need to, edit because I have to take out the Buzz Viral Media.
And we probably just need to re-record that all together too
Yeah,
at some
probably.
point. For now, it's fine. I'm
Yeah,
good.
make it a little bit more, cohesive. Oh, I also
Yeah.
didn't post, the Wordle today. I'm gonna do
Do
that
it.
now.
Do it.
It's mostly for me, but
No, it's fun. I think people
I'm
usually
like,
they
the
like it
people
on there.
love it. The people love it.
People love it. I think they're getting used to seeing it, so it's cute. I know Danielle appreciates it because
Oh, good.
she
That's enough.
loves it
That's enough
so
for
hard.
me.
Yeah, she loves it so hard. It's so funny because she's always like, "Oh my god, I feel like me and Kat had similar upbringings." Because she's so Dutch. She grew up in like a like I mean everybody was Dutch, and she went to Christian schools, and like a lot of the same kind of ideologies you grew up hearing, she did too. So I think she just relates to your point of view a lot when it comes to some of that stuff.
Oh.
And I mean, I think she's just now at a point where she's sort of like not
Hmm.
necessarily, well, I don't know if she would outright just say she's questioning her faith, you know what I'm saying? But I think that like you get taught not to even think about it. So I think it's really big. And we've had discussions like that before too, even before the podcast, like where it's like, yeah, I mean, you don't ever really explore it like that from an objective sort of standpoint. And so I think she enjoys being able to listen to conversations where that comes up because it's not a conversation you can have with your super Dutch parents and Dutch, you're because now she
No.
lives back in that same community, so it's like I can't really have these conversations. Everyone will hate me.
Exactly. They'll be
And
like,
I
"What are
already
you
feel bad for
doing? You're
even
gonna get
thinking
me
it.
sent to hell." Well, yeah,
Exactly.
because, I mean,
So,
there's even technically they threaten you. There's just a thought crime that can get you, like, forever damnation.
yeah, dang, not
So,
thought crime. That
yeah,
sounds pretty intense.
it does.
Yeah,
Like,
so
yeah, it's kinda terrifying. Oh, well, that feels good to hear
yeah,
because
it's
'cause I'm
PTSD out
like
here. Yeah, I'm just
yeah.
being mean right now. I don't know why. I need to go to bed, I think. It's like, "You're dumb. Your ideas are stupid. Like, what are you talking about?" I'm
I
so
stand by
mean.
that. It's
I need to
okay.
be
It doesn't
better.
matter. Like that's the thing
It's
about
fun.
being a weirdo. It's just like, yeah.
Well, and it's it's a contrast too. So there's that.
Yeah, no, I'm used to being, the cheese stands alone.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I'm sure people probably agree with you though. I mean, that's a much nicer standpoint.
Once again, I'm
At
just trying
least
to
the
hedge my
openness to it.
bets in case I have to get rescued at some point. They'll be like, "There's a possibility."
Oh
Now,
man. I just feel like, if you're gonna rescue me with that in the back of your mind, you might rescue me with like, well, if she don't. You know what I'm saying? If that's on
it's
your
not like you
mind.
can take back your rescue. What are they gonna
That's what I'm
do?
saying.
Like
You
drop
can't
you
take it
back
back.
in there?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I could just keep it to
I
myself
just
too.
know how I would be. Like I'd have been like, "Wow!" Like just because really I've been impressed by way less.
I
So
know,
like if you,
friend. I know.
yeah. So I just
I
know for me,
need
I'd
you
be like,
to. But
"You
no, I
put
guess if you're gonna be impressed by something, that's not the worst thing to be impressed by. Like that's pretty
yeah."
cool.
It's like, yeah, keep this
But it
alive.
wasn't, I guess in my mind, I'm like, it wasn't really her though. It was just the fact that like, I don't know, like it just feels like, okay, so I get to be like, you're doing this because you thought I was your dead wife, which I'm not. Not that talking to you, you know what I'm saying? So like I just feel like you
Right.
need
Uh-oh, it froze.